And we are back on the Yeah Coach podcast, where we encourage you to take action in life through the testimonies of others. And I have my mentor with me, one of my fitness mentors here in the fitness industry. This man he graduated from Marshall University with a bachelor's degree in exercise
Yes,
science.
sir.
He has been in the fitness industry training people, doing classes for the past 14 years. And he's had his business open, CSS Wellness, training clients, doing classes, everything you could think of here in Lexington, Kentucky for almost 5 years, 5 years in October, and now got the opportunity to partner with Valvoline at Valvoline World Headquarters here in Lexington. I welcome the Coach Brian. How you doing today, man?
Good, man. Great job. Great job. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your patience, because I know this has kind of been a long time coming type thing. So Nef first ran this by me like right as we were getting ready for this move, and I was like, give me a little bit. Yeah. So, but now everything is settled. We've successfully moved over. So appreciate your patience, man.
I appreciate your time. That's one thing I do want to say is you are a busy person. And I think everyone's life right now is busy. They're trying to get things situated from after COVID, business move, personal move, family moves.
Right.
And finding time for things, I want to say thank you I appreciate the time you're about to give. This testimony is going to speak life into people.
Absolutely.
I'm
And I just hope something that we can say here or share here can just help someone along their journey as well.
Yes, sir. All right, so the first question might throw you off.
Yeah.
What did you eat for breakfast this morning?
I had to think about it. Which breakfast? Because I have like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I do a piece of fruit before my workout.
Uh-huh.
So this morning I had a banana before the 5 a.m. workout. Protein shake after that. I sound like I'm in shape, but I really never get that in. But I was really proud of that. And then I went home because my sister-in-law, excuse me, my brother-in-law is in town. I apologize. And so anyway, I went home and they brought donuts. So I got like a half of a Nutella donut from Frank's.
Ooh.
Woo! That thing is amazing. And did some oatmeal with some protein and peanut butter with that. So I've had like 3 or 4 breakfasts this morning. Yeah.
And it's only 1 o'clock, 1:30. You got a lot of food coming?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully.
So would you say that your breakfast routine in the morning is pretty consistent?
I wish it was better. I control my controllables. So the one before my workout, I'm pretty good. The one directly after my workout, I'm pretty good. But then once life starts, some days I might not eat till 1 o'clock. You know.
Understood. Has it always been like that? You try to eat when you can, where you can, but it's usually, if you can plan it, it's structured?
Yeah. I'll take it like this. There's been time in my life that I've been more serious about my fitness goals than others. So there's been times where it's like I'm dialing in, and I'm counting calories, and I got my plan and I'm sticking to it. And then there's times where I kind of like flex and flow, and I eat just, make sure I'm eating enough, make sure I'm eating when I'm hungry. I'm in one of those flex and flow type seasons.
Right.
Anytime we're doing any kind of moves, making moves, we're growing or anything like that, I try to do least amount as possible in those things, because I put so much energy in other stuff, right? So I always tell people, you want to give yourself some grace, right? So building out a gym, I need to give myself some grace when it comes to being strict on my food, right? And maybe I gain a pound or 2, or maybe I lose a little bit of progress here or there. But at the end of the day, it allows me to maintain a better, healthier mind throughout. So there have been times where it's like I'm packing my food and I got my lunchbox and I got my gym bag and I got all that. But right now it's more just like, I'm just going to try to make sure I eat my meals.
Yeah. So would you say for the most part you're pretty disciplined?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty disciplined in certain areas of my life, right? There are areas in my life where I have some non-negotiables, and that's just life. Like that's how it goes. And those are the areas I feel like I'm very disciplined in. And then there's areas where, like for instance, eating. Like I wouldn't say I'm very disciplined with eating because I like being able to have the freedom to enjoy mac and cheese with my kids, or LB loves eating pizza. I'm not I'm not a fan, but you know what?
Yeah.
If me sharing a slice of pizza with him brings us closer together, then yeah. So I would say that I'm disciplined in certain areas, but as of right now, food is not one of those.
That already, just for like the first couple minutes, is already encouraging for me
Yeah,
because I've been trying to be like to a T when it comes to what I'm doing, what I eat, and how I operate my do things in my life.
yeah,
As I now have two kids,
yeah.
because they love pizza, they love mac
Right.
and cheese, they
Oh
love
man.
these
Oh
things,
no.
and I'm like, all right. I have my protein shake. I have my protein pancakes. Like even this morning, I made protein pancakes. They didn't want them.
Right.
They didn't taste good for them. I protein
Yeah.
pancakes with some sugar-free syrup because I already eat a lot of sugary things throughout the day. So if I can cut down in little places
Yeah.
and just eat it, I did sugar-free syrup, but they were like, "No, I'm not having it today, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it." So I was like, "All right, well, what do y'all want?" And they actually like the granola bars that I get, so
That's good.
the Nutri-Grain and Nature Valley granola bars. But hearing that from you, I'm just like, all right, I don't have to be as on
Yeah.
it as much. Because I have seen days where they don't want to eat because we're not eating the same thing, or
Right.
they're not enjoying it as much. They're not focused, or I'm not enjoying it,
Right.
because you know how sometimes if you're eating something and they see that you're eating it, they want what you have now.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, but if we're all eating the same thing, it's not as much of a fight.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest things, and I know this is kind of side note, but one of the biggest things I've learned with, as far as like kids and eating and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you just want to like introduce it to them. The
Mm-hmm.
same thing with working out, right? So like this weekend, I didn't get a chance to get to the gym, and so I just did like a little quick little 10-minute workout in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And my youngest daughter, Vivian, she's 3. She like kept coming in, and so I was doing some push-ups. She'd get right beside me and drop her belly, pick it up, drop her belly, right? Or I'd lay on my back and I'd do something, and she's like crawling underneath me. And is she going to be perfect with correct form and all these things? Absolutely not. But what I try to do is I try to normalize taking care of your body, making sure you're taking care of your mind, make sure you're doing all these things because they see it, right? And if they see us doing it, when it's time for them to mimic it, it's a normal thing for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So LBA, he's not going to eat everything we eat, right? And our thing that we tell him is you have to try it. You don't have to finish it, but you have to try it. And so if we can just continue to offer that exposure to him, and he knows all I got to do is try this, right? I don't have to scarf the whole thing down. I
Mm-hmm.
just got to try it, right? I don't know very many kids that like vegetables, right? But there's a certain time in your life where it kind of clicks and you're like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
let me eat some vegetables. So hopefully with him, it'll be an easier adjustment for him.
Understood.
Yeah.
I definitely agree and noticed that. They love fruit. They'll
Hmm.
eat fruit all day long,
That's good.
but vegetables they don't always eat.
Yeah.
They'll like put, especially if it's just green in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll push it away.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. Okay. So one of our next questions then. What what would you say is one of your biggest influences in your life today that creates who you are as a person, whether it be that characteristic, whether it be that experience you went through, a
Yeah.
person that's a big influence, or a situation?
Okay. That's a good question. I think I'll approach that from a couple different
Hmm.
angles. The thing that drives me most is I had a goal, and I've achieved that goal. But I still work daily to make sure we stay in an achievement
Hmm.
success phase of it. So that goal was I wanted to be able to be the sole provider financially for my family, as well as get off at a time that I can also go and take my kids to little league, coach their team if I feel so moved, be able to experience, because in fitness, as you know, we make a lot of our money early in the morning, late in the evening, right? And so earlier in my career, there's days I didn't see my family. I would see Tara, but I didn't see LB. This was before Viv, and so 5 o'clock I'm in the gym, And by the time he's in daycare all day, and then she gets off work and I'm still working. And so like the time that I would have free during the day would be his nap time at daycare. So I can't go over there and actually, spend time with him and stuff. So I wasn't getting off until 8 o'clock, but his bedtime was at 7:30. So it was like it I was missing a large portion of life, and I did not want that to happen anymore, right? And so I set a goal, man. I set a goal to actually find a way to, because I'll give you some more background. Tara, she was working. She's a chemist by trade, and she was working for a pharmaceutical company making a killing. She is the reason why we are in the financial position we're in today because of the money she was able to make. Now, did I contribute? Yes, but she was the one that was providing a large portion of the base with her job, right? And she came to me one day. It was in July. It was in 2017. So 5 years ago this month, she came to me and she was like, "I didn't have these kids to let somebody else raise them. I want to raise my own kids. I want to be with my own kids. I'm quitting in December." And I'm like, "Quitting what?" Right? And she was like, "I'm quitting my job." She was making over 80K a year at the time, and I was like, wait, you're doing what?" And she was like, "You got until December to figure it out. You've had 5 years to figure this out, figure it out." And so it was like, we had a couple come to Jesus meetings.
This was
And
5 years ago?
this was 5 years ago. This was July 2017. I started the business a couple months later after that, right? And so I started talking to some people and started putting some things together, and luckily we got everything up and rolling, and we kicked the business off October 2nd, 2017. I tell everybody October 1st because that's a prettier date. But it was really October 2nd. And yeah, man. So I called my one of my friends still to this day. I called him and I was like, "Hey, like, it's official, we're in business." And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Now what?" And he was like, "Go sell something." And every time somebody asks me for advice, the first thing I tell them is go sell something, because that's the key to it, right? But anyway, when she came and told me um, that she was quitting her job, and I understood what she meant about not wanting to, keep letting everybody else raise her kids. And so I took it upon myself, and I was like, "You know what? Here it is." And so thank God everything has happened the way it's happened. And we've been blessed to financially cut back in certain areas at times, and splurge in certain areas at times. But we've been able to do it together. And CSS is the sole provider financially for our family. And I try to check out of here at 3 o'clock every day. You've seen me at 3 o'clock. I'm like, "All right, guys, I'm
Yep.
out." And so that's something that has been a driving force for a long time. And then the second part of that, the influential people, I've been blessed, as well as you will be and have already been. In personal training, you meet some amazing people, right? And you meet some highly successful people. And so the one thing that I've always tried to do is I don't want your money. I want to know how. I want your habits, right? I want to know, what are you looking at every morning when you wake up? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're driving to work, what you listening to, right? When you get to work, what's the first 5 things that you do, right? Those are the habits that I want to know, because those habits keep them successful, right? So I want to know those habits so that it will further my path, hopefully speed it up a little bit too.
Mhm.
And so I can't say just one person, one individual that has like been influential. I think I would, because I could not name just one. I think to give credit to everybody, because everyone that I've come across and been blessed to work with has taught me a little bit of something.
Mhm. Mm. Wow. Wow. That that makes me think, obviously, about my situation because you when you hear other people's stories, you have it's kind of inherent that you do compare yourself to them.
Right.
and look at the similarities, the differences, and how things could be different if they were different.
Right.
Um, it just makes me really think about my approach and how I'm doing it, how I could change it, how I can keep it consistent.
Right.
Um, so without Tara being that sole provider for that time period, how would you have still got that same result, or would it just taken longer?
I would have got the same result, yes. I do think it would have taken longer
Yeah.
because, um, man, I honestly, I was comfortable. I was comfortable in my first training job,
Mm-hmm.
and what pushed me out of that comfort zone was Tara was graduating from college because she was a couple years behind me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when she was getting ready to graduate, um, she couldn't find a job here in Lexington in her major and everything. We could find her like a secretary job, but nothing
Mm-hmm.
in pharmaceuticals. And so she got an opportunity to move to Morgantown
Where's
in
that?
Morgantown, West Virginia.
Okay.
And so, man, honestly, it was like when life starts to move a certain way, it's I've learned that because Daryl Love is one of my guys that I like to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my clients, and he always asks me. I try to run things by him, and he always asks me, "Is this God guided, or is this your idea?" And I always tell him the only time I know for sure if it's God guided is if it flows easily, right? Every time I've tried to push something through, it's been successful at times, but it's been an uphill battle. And it feels like you are fighting every single element that you can possibly think to fight. But when it's God's given, it's the perfect timing. Things fall into place. You meet the right people. The right things are said. And it's like everything just kind of flows. And so, whenever I was coming out of my first training job and considering moving up to Morgantown with her, it was one of those things where everything was just starting to flow, right? And then we get up there, and I was about to take a job that I wasn't really excited for, but it was a job, whatever. And then the day we moved up, I was unloading the truck and got the final piece of furniture off the truck. We didn't have very much. And so I dropped this couch, get a phone call, and it's from the actual gym that I wanted to work, my number one choice, right? And the guy called, his name was Rob Dunleavy. He called me, he was like, "Hey, would you be interested in coming in for an interview?" Yes, yes, let's go. So I put the stuff down, went and got my suit out of the closet, put my suit on, drove over. I show up to the first interview at a gym with a suit on. This guy named Stephen Cap. Steve was like, "Are you wearing a suit to an interview?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know this is a gym, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know." He was like, "Oh, okay." And ended up getting the strength and conditioning job, right? And so it was over strength and conditioning, over football, basketball, baseball, and soccer, right? And so it's like, again, when it's God's given and driven, it's, man, it just flows, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Same can be said about when we moved back here. Everything just like everything would have been fine if we'd have stayed in Morgantown, but like life was just moving that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then coming out of my desk job to get back into training to start CSS
Mm-hmm.
again is one of those things where everything was just flowing that direction. So I don't feel like, yes, it is because of her that we are able to be in this spot, but I do think that even if you don't have somebody like with that big of a base, it's still possible. You just have to listen to the signs that God's giving you, right? He'll let you know. If not, he'll start beating you upside the head until you know, right? Um, but yeah, so I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, I don't have somebody that can support the family, so I can't go out and start my own business. No, you can. It just starts with just one person at a time.
Oh, okay. This is honestly, this is very, very good advice for me. Like just hearing the story,
Yeah.
because I'm in the similar shoes as you were, at one point. Um, Trying to figure out what my next move is, how to move, how fast it should be going. Um, I don't know if you know this. I'm a very logical thinker. I like to make sure I'm security driven. I
Right.
like to make sure something is secure. I want to 100% know what I'm doing before I take the next step.
Right.
And so I guess sometimes that feels like a flow. If it comes easy, then I get it. Either it's the right thing or it's not. I don't know.
Or it's
So
not the right time.
or it's just not the right time because
Yeah.
it's too easy.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. But yeah, I really like that. Um,
Can I say one thing before you move on
yeah,
from
go
that
ahead.
point? Funny story. So when I was moving back from Morgantown, moving to Lexington from Morgantown,
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 jobs and 3 job offers, and one of which was to come on and manage the Lexington Tennis Club, the one
Mm-hmm.
off Takes Creek, right? And so it was good. I mean, it was I'd worked there before. I knew the people, like I knew kind of what I was getting into, and I knew that I could take that job and like really like maximize on it. I didn't take it. I didn't take it because it felt like it was too good of an offer, and I was like, I don't know if they know what they're actually about to offer me, right? Like it was one of those things where I'm like, it was so good and so real, or just like so unreal that it was like, this feels too good to be true, right? And so I was an offensive lineman in college, right?
Uh-huh.
And um, so one, this is way too deep, but I'm gonna go ahead and go there anyway. Whenever you are like blocking somebody, when somebody is coming trying to get to the quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
you feel their pressure. You feel them, like you have to really dig your heels in.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if it's like a twist. So I'm not gonna go too deep into what a twist is, but a twist simply means like you try to fake, the defensive person tries to
Mm-hmm.
fake out the offensive lineman
So they
and
lean
then
into it.
back up and let their teammate come and knock that lineman out, right?
Uh-huh.
So if I go to block you and I can't feel your pressure, my instinct now is to back up because somebody's coming at me, right? From
Mm-hmm.
something I can't see. So it's the same thing. I was like, this is too good. Let me back up. Right. And so, I've always felt comfortable with that decision, right? To that it was just too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Until it was not even 3 weeks ago. I was talking to somebody who's friends with the owners of the tennis club,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling her that story, and she was like, "You should have took that deal. They knew exactly what they were getting into. I remember that." And I was like, "What?" So you never know, man. You never know. So it's like it's one of those things where it would have been like 6 figures, easy 6 figures, right? And
Man.
so, but you never know because what if I would have gotten that job and got comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if I'd have gotten that job, got comfortable, and never been pushed to start CSS?
You think you would have done that?
I would have got comfortable. What? Yeah, I would have got comfortable. I would have been chilling, right? But if I had never started CSS, maybe we are not having this conversation right
Mm-hmm.
here, right? And so, it's one of those things where um, life comes and you never know if it's the right choice,
Mm-hmm.
but the only wrong choice is no choice, right? Pick one and go and stick with it, right? And stay consistent and push and drive. And I think with time, it all like you said, like I'm sitting here talking to Aisha, and I'm like, dang, they would have really seen it. Like, my path could have been a whole lot easier. Yeah, but whatever.
So would you still consider the situation you're in right now the same equal success or greater than what your option you would have had?
Um, I feel like greater because I'm able to empower people now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, I've built three training teams for different companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, we've been blessed that all those teams are still going, right? All of them are still moving forward and successful, so that's good. But honestly, man, it's nothing like being able to build a team and control the narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been in situations, just between you and me. I've been in situations where the owners would come in and tell me, "Oh, we can't hire that person because they don't look a certain way," and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "No, we have this standard," and I don't agree with that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with hiring somebody based off their looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because I was in the position I was in, I couldn't hire that person, right? Absolutely amazing, would have killed the job,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't look a certain way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm in. If you good, you good. Get in there. Let's
Right.
go. I don't care how you look. You look like a person. You look like a successful person running this class. Let's go, right? So um, I feel like I would prefer to be in the position that I'm in right now.
With that, would you say it's different from person to person, whether they are presented with two different options, their own entrepreneurial route or safe and secure,
Yeah.
knowing that it's going? What would you recommend?
Whew. Um, Honestly, for me, I'm always gonna say entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just because I've always believed in bet on yourself. Like if I have anybody to bet on, I'm gonna bet on myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do feel like entrepreneurship is something that a lot of people don't have the right mindset for. A lot of people see entrepreneurs as these go 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 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. type people, always moving, always pushing, always great ideas. And for the most part, yeah, that is an entrepreneur. But realistically, what really happens is, and I'm quoting this from a book, right? So you have technicians who actually do the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say like let's call it like a cookie shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a person, your baker is baking these cookies, right? And they're working for somebody, and they're realizing, man, I can go buy some flour, I can go buy some sugar, I can set up a website, I can deliver, I'm cooking the cookies anyway. That is called an entrepreneur moment. That technician is having an entrepreneur moment. And they realize, I can just go and do this, right? And so they go out and they go buy some flour and they go buy some sugar and they go buy some milk and eggs and stuff, and they start cooking on their own. And then they start an Instagram page and a website and they start selling to their friends, and then that takes off. And then now they're pushing and they're doing all this, and they're actually getting some orders in, and they're filling orders to the local restaurants, and they're growing and they're doing it, and everybody's looking at them and patting them on the back and calling them an entrepreneur. But really, you're still just a technician working for now your business, right? The key is when you can figure out how to move up levels. It's three different levels: your technician, your management, and then your entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneur is the head of the business. That's the person that sees where the business is going, can make the changes, make the decisions to move forward, right? Your management team is the people that are good at writing systems, right? So this bike goes right there, right? How can I communicate to the team that that bike goes right there? I need to create a system. That system can be as simple as labeling a pad and putting a label on the floor, bike 3, right? So everybody knows bike 3 goes right there. That's a system though, right? There are people that are good at creating those systems. And then you have your technicians, the people who jump in class and couldn't communicate a system to save their life, but they are just really good at baking cookies, right? Those are your technicians. And so the trip that everybody kind of, not everybody, a lot of people fall into the trap of, I'm an entrepreneur. And then you work and you work and you get tired, because what end up happening is the more success you get, the more it comes on, like that stress comes to your body, right? That phone call is coming to your phone, that email is going to your inbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just like, you get tired and you just need some more help, and then you go and get some help. But really, when you bring that help on, and you're hiring another technician, so what ends up happening is it's you and a whole bunch of other technicians working in your business. And if you don't move up to management, then everybody's just doing their own thing. And then you end up having like a few different styles of business within your business. And maybe that person ain't cooking cookies like you cook your cookies, right? And maybe this person isn't answering the phone the way you answer your phone, right? And so that's when you see like the discrepancies in the quality of different small
Mm-hmm.
businesses, right? Um, but if you can move up to a management mind state and you can start actually creating those systems that allow the technicians that you're bringing in to operate better and along a path that you see fit within your business, then that's when you can be a little bit more successful, right? The next step is to hire a manager, to somebody that's good at writing systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bring them in, teach them your ways, teach them how it's supposed to go. Now they are teaching the technicians and they're hiring the technicians. And then that allows you to go up another level to get back to that level so that you can have another entrepreneur moment. And then you can go out and start something else. Or you can even take your business to another level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, and I know this is not what you asked me, and I apologize.
No, this is great. This is something I need to know. Like,
Yeah,
and
but a
I'm
lot
not the
of
only one.
people like they look at me like, oh, Brian's a great entrepreneur. He has an entrepreneur spirit. But really, I was just a technician that got tired of doing it for everybody else. I was doing it for everybody else. Why not just do it for myself? Right? My family needs me to do it for myself. My family needs me at home, and they also need the financial security. The only way I can do that is to have an entrepreneur moment and take off, right? Thank God I so the book that I was referencing is called The E-Myth. And that everything I just went over is in that book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went out one night for dinner, Steph and my wife Tara, and this is when David had just opened his restaurant, and so we went over there and we were eating, and he was actually on his way out the door, and just gonna say bye to him, whatever. But he ended up coming over and sitting down and talking with us. And he was the one that told me, because he actually was like, all right, you got your business up and running. Tell me a little bit about it. I told him everything. He was like, oh, so you the pie lady. And I was like, what do you mean I'm the pie lady? He was like, go read this book. You're the pie lady. And I went and read it. I consumed it in 2 days. And I couldn't put it down. Like I
Uh-huh.
could not put it down. And what it was opening my eyes to a lot of mistakes that I was getting ready to make because I was the pie lady, right? And so the reason why most small businesses fail within 3 to 5 years is because of that process that I just went through. Like they bring on the people, they the quality of the business starts to fail because they're unable to move up to a managerial mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just fire everybody, bring everything back onto their plate, and they go into their tired, and that's typically 5 years, and then they quit and go do something else, right? So, um,
Interesting.
yeah, entrepreneurship is not for everybody because you do have to have a certain mindset to like really do it. But everyone is capable of doing it because most people are already technicians. They're just waiting on their entrepreneur moment.
That was an amazing story.
Yeah.
That put so many more things in perspective for me and what I want. And I know I'm not the only one. People listening to this are gonna be like, "This is really clicking." Like,
Yeah.
I want to go get this book.
Yeah, the E Myth. The E Myth. I'll send you the whole book and the title so you can put it in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That as you were speaking, probably the biggest thing that I was listening to of the difference between a entrepreneur and a manager is varies from person to person is their risk tolerance. Are
Hmm.
you able to tolerate risk because it's all going to be on you?
Right.
If you want to just keep hiring new technicians or keep setting up these systems and not take on more responsibility because you don't want to take that fail because it will be all on you. Um, then the entrepreneurial journey might not be for you,
Right.
and staying in that managerial place within that business might just be your fit. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think one thing I was learning about here recently is the bigger differences between an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur. Intrapreneur can stay at that managerial status and be okay with it.
Right.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. And you can
man.
do both. No one ever says that you can't do both. Right. I mean, I hate to say this, but because of our financial state within the U.S. right now, not a lot of people are making enough off of just one job anymore. Like a lot of people got side hustles right now, right? And kudos to everybody out there that realizes, all right, I got this 9 to 5. Now, what am I doing from 5 to 9? And if you don't have kids or if you don't have, something that you got going on, why not start up something that you enjoy and actually make some money off of it? Like you can do both, and then you can let that thing grow until you can justifiably walk away from that 9 to 5.
Man, what a story.
Yeah.
I think I have one more question to wrap it up here, Brian.
Okay.
What you may have even already answered it, but what advice would you give someone that's thinking about starting their fitness journey or thinking about getting to the fitness industry? They don't know where to start. They don't know what to do.
Okay. Somebody that's looking to start their fitness journey, the number one thing I can tell you is allow yourself grace, because we've been programmed to have this idea of what we should look like in our mind, right? Every time I open up Instagram, I see this guy named Josh Webb. I don't know why they keep showing me Josh Webb. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, he's like this Instagram workout model guy, whatever, right? He's like a real cut up, jack dude. And he looks great. Good for him, right? In my mind now, because I see that every single day, like that should be my goal, right? I'm working out. That's my goal. That's what I want to look like. But is it though? Right? Like if your goal is strictly aesthetics, okay, cool. Let's show you a path, right? But that's not why you should be in here, right? The reason you get in the gym, the reason you start your fitness journey is because you just want to feel better, right? You just want to feel better. You want to enjoy your life. I met a guy at the beach, and he been running his company for like 30 something years. He's really successful dude. Just bought him a beach condo, all this type stuff. And he does landscaping and snow removal. Made $305,000 last year in 8 days. 8 days of snow removal, $305,000. And I'm like, I'm about to go get me a shovel. Right? Right? I'm like, whoa. So anyway,
wow.
And so as I'm talking to him, he was like, Brian, the only thing I pray for is good health and snow days these days. And I was like, you know what? Right. But that's something that a lot of people don't realize. You get so caught up in the hustle and bustle that at the end of the day, what you're really looking for is good health, right? I'm eating this food, not maybe I might enjoy it, but I'm eating it because I want to live longer. I want to be able to play with my kids and their kids, right? I want to be able to enjoy all the work that the results from the work that we're putting in right now, right? So if your mindset is strictly aesthetics, cool, I can show you that way. But don't do it for that. Do it because you want to feel better, because you want to look better. You want to enjoy what you see when you look in the mirror, when you put on your clothes, right? But do it because you want to be a better version of yourself, not because you want to be Josh Webb, right? And that's something I preach to myself daily, right? And so that's a thing that not only for first dayers, but people that have been in here for a while. If you lose a little bit or if you don't, it doesn't devalue you as a person, right? You're no worse of a person because you gained 5 pounds, right? You're still an amazing person that gained 5 pounds. Who cares, right? Let's get you on some healthy habits that are going to allow you to lose 10. Maybe not tomorrow, but we'll get there, right? So that's allow yourself some grace is my take home message every time I'm talking to somebody starting their goal. And then for my fitness professionals, keep in mind, and this I'm going to offer this in a very specific answer. Most trainers are naturally fit people, right? There are very few trainers that have had problems with obesity, that have had problems with like fighting that fight and getting to a level of in shapeness, right? Now, not to say all, because I do know a lot of people that have amazing fitness journey stories, but most trainers are naturally in shape people. They did something athletic in high school and or college. They enjoyed how the time in the weight room felt on their body and the results that they've seen from it. They've been able to reap the rewards of, being in good shape. Keep in mind, not everybody has that. Not everybody is able to look like you may look or may not look.
Mhm.
And so when you're talking to, 50-year-old woman who's struggled with weight loss, used to look like whatever back in the day, but now she can't, for the life of her, get this last 10 pounds off. Keep in mind that everybody's journey is different, and it's best to operate in a space of empathy if you can, right? And sometimes it's hard to like really understand and hear what the people are saying, because it's like, I mean, I honestly, I know so many trainers that just be like, just eat the food, just eat the food, right? Like I know this one girl, she posted a video. She was jump roping outside of Chick-fil-A, and the caption said, "I'm waiting on my client." I loved it, right? But on the flip side, on the flip side, you have to be able to operate with some empathy in that, right? Because yeah, my client might be going to Chick-fil-A every single day, right? But my goal is to encourage them to go to Chick-fil-A, but order this instead. And so small adjustments, small ticks,
Incremental steps.
Yeah, we'll get them going in the right direction. But big changes a lot of times and big results, but then also big failures.
Yeah,
So,
because then you have to maintain that same standard the entire
and if
life.
it ain't a part of your way of life, it's coming back. Yeah. Last thing I'll hit on is a lot of times. So like, I don't know if you know this, but Pinterest and I want to say TikTok don't allow before and after pictures anymore. And
What do you
so
mean before and after pictures?
like a fitness before and after picture,
Uh-huh.
you can't put it on Pinterest. They'll remove it. They'll flag and remove it. I think TikTok does it as well, and I want to say maybe Snapchat, but a lot of the big industries are moving away from before and after pictures because of the negative implications that it's had on people's long-term health, right?
Because they want that immediate.
Yeah, so a lot of times, um, if and when you decide to read up on this, they're saying that the after picture is really just your during picture. There is no after picture, right? So you have your before picture, and then a lot of people like, again, don't get me wrong, there is a space for a before and after picture. If I do a 90-day eating clean, if I do, like for the month of June, I wanted to hit every 5 a.m. workout for the month of June, right? Take my before picture, take my picture at the end of June, right? There's space for that. But you see like the diet stuff where it's what's the one like 70 hard or hard
70-day hard challenge.
yeah
I don't know if it's exactly 70 days,
yeah
but it's
yeah but whatever like or 75 hard. So like a lot of people were doing that diet and they would of course like pull a whole bunch of weight off of them because you're working out every day, you're moving every day, you're doing all these different things, you're doing the things that your body needs in order to get that result. But they were not actually instilling it in healthy ways that were able to maintain. And then a lot of times you not only gain back the weight that you lost, but you end up gaining more. So, it's, again, operate in the space of grace if you can. Yeah.
Man, I have more questions for you, Brian.
Yeah.
We're going to close it right here.
We can always do a part two.
Yeah,
We can do
yeah.
a part
A
two.
lot of these interviews, I'm like, all right, this is so interesting, but we want to keep it shorter. We're going to bring everybody back on, though, over time. You know how we have to end it.
Coach.
We got to end it with that.
Yeah,
Coach.
coach.
You say when you're just excited.
Yeah.
We're going to back away from the mic a little bit just so we don't burst it. Well, no, we're good. We're good. We'll do it on the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, coach.
And that wraps up that podcast interview with the Coach Brian. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Thank you all.